You can't convince me that ICE is the villain. They said that Trump was cruel and enforcing the border is racist. But what do you call this? Unaccompanied kids on a cannabis farm used as slaves, literal slaves. ICE showed up and rescued them. And the Democrats, they not mad at the traffickers. They mad at ICE. Let me show you exactly what I mean.
ICE agents, they raided a cannabis farm in Ventura County, California yesterday. And what they found was unaccompanied illegal migrant children being used as work slaves. ICE agents saved those children from a horrible fate. And that's what's happening to these unaccompanied minors. You know, a few days ago, I did a post and a lot of liberals came into my comments and they were like, do you have the same energy for the children being separated, immigrant children? What you don't understand is that these unaccompanied minor children are entering this country illegally with coyotes, not family members. And they are being used as slaves, and slaves of all kinds, not just work slaves. That's the least of it. So are you upset? Do you have that same energy, the new liberal buzzword? Do you have that same energy about saving children from an awful existence of slavery? I'm just curious. I just wonder what your thoughts are. Because they are doing good. They're getting criminals off of our streets, and they are saving children.
Yes, they are. I mean, let that sink in, man. Children smuggled, abused, exploited. And the agents who pulled them out of that nightmare, they're the ones that's under attack. Not the criminals, not the cartels. But you already know, the left doesn't care about results. They care about control. Watch what they did next.
All right, breaking overnight, a tense standoff between federal immigration agents and protesters outside a cannabis farm in California. Video shows agents clashing with protesters and deploying some kind of gas or smoke into the crowd. The FBI says it is focused on a person who appears to fire toward the agents. A $50,000 reward is being offered for anyone with information. This is what the White House border czar Tom Hman said this morning.
People are welcome to protest to have their First Amendment rights grew up, but they can't cross that line. They can't impede us from doing our job. That's a felony. They certainly can't put hands on an agent. That's a felony. So what happened in California is just another example of protesters becoming criminals. ICE agents are simply enforcing the law that members of Congress enacted.
Latest now from CNN's Veronica Miracle.
We're learning that 10 people under the age of 18 were discovered at these marijuana farms. That's according to the Customs and Border Protection Commissioner Rodney Scott. He says that 8 of those children were unaccompanied minors, and he also says this is now a case involving child labor violations. These raids happened at Glass House Farms. It's a marijuana facility with 2 different locations, and raids happened at both of those locations. And it quickly devolved. Protesters descended on those locations at one point in the city of Camarillo, one of the farms. They blocked the entrances, the 2 entrances and access points into one of those farms. And so there were skirmish lines on either side of the farm. It quickly got out of control. Here's what protesters had to say.
They started throwing pepper balls, tear gas, smoke, everything, just trying to disperse us because they're scared. They know that we're going to push back against it.
We're here united. We're not letting ICE agents in. We're not letting ICE agents out. We've been trying to block in since we're not giving them what they want.
A spokesperson for Homeland Security tells CNN that they were conducting criminal warrants at the farm, but it is not clear at this hour how many people were arrested. This went on for hours, and we could see from aerial footage that busloads of people were being taken away. We also saw people lined up next to one of the facilities, appearing to be detained, multiple people. And so we're still waiting for information on exactly what happened at these farms and what exactly will unfold from here. But we do know that the FBI says that during the protesters clashing with law enforcement, at least one man may have fired a weapon towards officers. The FBI now offering a $50,000 reward for information leading to his arrest. Back to you.
Veronica, thank you so much for that. Coming up for us, President Trump says He's reached a deal to send more weapons to.
Wow. So I want to read this comment right up under it. It says, it wasn't a farm. It was a massive illegal marijuana grow operation. ICE didn't tear gas kids. They used smoke grenades after protesters fired live rounds. Kidnapping? No. They detained illegal workers, including minors, exploited for child labor. And I kept hearing smoke deployed. That's the part they repeated over and over and over. Not the child slaves, not the protesters who fired live rounds, just the gas. Well, now we know smoke grenades. Same thing, huh? Well, not really, not technical. Anywho, you see what the Democrat playbook is. We see it plain as day. Make the rescue look like a crime, and the criminals, they get to play victim. Now, here comes the ringleader. Gavin Newsome posted this with the caption, kids from running from tear gas, crying on the phone because their mother was just taken from the fields. Trump calls me Newsome, but he's the real scum.
Do not panic, do not run! Do not run! Stay calm! They took your mom?
Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm not a human with a heart. I have to say that every time we are met with one of these moments. Oh, I apologize. I paused too soon. There's still more on the clock.
Do not panic, do not run! Do not run! Stay calm!
Oh, it's just repeated. It's looped. Okay. Well, Newsom tried to make it about trauma, but the left, they always try to do this. But he left something out, didn't he? That mother might have been the one supervising children in the slave conditions. That field wasn't a wheat farm. It was a cannabis front. You're not upset that kids were abused? But you are upset that they were rescued by the wrong team. Look at what actually happened on the ground.
They threw one under the car, and then all the car inside, it got full of smoke.
Melissa Tapia was here in her car waiting to hear more from her family members inside. They all work at Glass House Farms, a marijuana grow.
My cousin, my sister, my brother are in there. They took my brother, they took his phone away. They're banging on there, not letting people out, trying to get in illegally. It's terrible.
As word spread quickly that agents were here, neighbors also showed up in droves.
Had one of my workers that was just happened to be working over here and got the distress call, so I came to try to see if I could help out.
What did the worker say?
He's just hiding out.
Looking for friends and just showing support and anger.
There was a whole line of just people just, walking out like if they were criminals. It's sad. They're here working.
Now they're firing tear gas, smoke bombs, and there's got to be a better way than the way that they're acting right now.
Firefighters received handshakes and cheers as they arrived to help. The National Guard got yelled at and things thrown at them as smoke bombs and chemical irritants were used to try and disperse the crowd.
Not good at all. Not good for the community, not good for people, honest, hardworking people.
And although it's not clear yet the number of workers detained, it is clear that many here have simply had enough of the raids and the fear that has the community feeling simply helpless.
You knew what was going on in there, but you didn't come and stop the abuse. You came to shield it because your politics told you ICE had to be the bad guys no matter what. Look, and when words didn't work, you escalated it.
Yeah, he is going to go over.
Fucking pussy, bitch! Throw a fucking water bottle at them.
That's your resistance movement. You're not fighting fascism. You're literally fighting rescues. Shame on you. Fighting children being saved. Y'all not brave, man. You're a mob. You're a mob, Democrats. And it gets worse. So this old man is blocking military vehicles, throws keys in the bushes in protest. Yep, he threw his keys to stop ICE from saving more kids. You ever notice how people who claim compassion always find a way to defend evil when it suits their agenda? This ain't about weed, man. This wasn't about protest. This was about covering for trafficking.
But we begin with Matt Finn. He's live with more on the growing violence against ICE. Matt, good evening.
Trace, good evening. Two federal sources tell Fox tonight that hundreds of people have been taken into custody during an hours-long immigration sweep at two farming locations in Carpinteria and Camarillo, California. Tear gas and smoke bombs were launched into the crowds of protesters clashing with immigration agents. Some people were transported to the hospital. Others were taken into custody for interfering with federal officers. Protesters could be seen throwing rocks at this black SUV. And tonight, sources tell Fox the feds are investigating the possibility of an active shooter at the scene. Investigators searched for shell casings and are using facial recognition to identify the suspect. This all started much earlier in the day. Federal sources tell Fox they had a criminal warrant to get onto the properties based on evidence illegal aliens were being harbored there. The properties are believed to be tied to a company called Glass House Brands, which has a state license to grow marijuana. And in San Francisco earlier this week, a group of protesters were seen in an intense clash with immigration agents outside of a courthouse. It was reportedly over a specific migrant. Video shows mass protesters scuffling with ICE agents who use batons. Some can be heard screaming, "Get away from my gun." No reports of injuries from this heated interaction, Trace.
Matt Finn live for us here. Matt, thank you. Let's bring in PragerU political commentator and former Venezuelan political refugee.
Now, I know in a previous video when this news broke, I mentioned in reference to what the host in that clip was saying, that the gun wasn't real or whatever the case, to some capacity like that. However, it's being reported that the gun actually jammed. That's a possibility that it jammed. But look, you got an active shooter, you got smoke bombs, confirmed slave labor. That wasn't a protest zone. That was a war zone with victims inside. And the people shouting defund ICE, they mad that kids got pulled out before it was too late. Now, I'm going to go ahead and let Tom Hman say what Democrats want. This is the full clip from previously.
But Tom, it strikes me unbelievable that the Democrats are not on board. When you look at this raid, there were 10 juveniles that were illegally brought across the border. You and I covered this under the Biden administration. I was down in Texas. We encountered a 8-10 10-year-old, 12-year-olds coming across with just a name and an address and a phone number on their necks, the cartel ruthlessly sending them across. And yet now we know that 10 of them, 8 of which were unaccompanied minors working illegally in a marijuana farm, and your agents go in and rescue them essentially, and yet there is violent resistance to that. Does that upset you?
It certainly upsets me, and like I said, you know, the work men and women of ICE are doing is incredible. Look, we're looking for over 300,000 missing children. We've already found 10,000. Have you heard that anywhere? No, the media is simply not covering it. And look, this should be a nonpartisan issue. Arresting public safety threats and national security threats, everybody be all the same page on that. Rescuing children, I mean, it should be a nonpartisan issue. Everybody should be in lockstep on that, but they're not. The media is lying. The Democrats they don't want President Trump to be successful. I got news for them. We are being successful. Every illegal alien public safety threat we arrest makes this country safer. Every national security threat we take off the street and deport makes us safer. And we're rescuing thousands of children. The lives saved every day by ICE, the lives saved every day by Border Patrol, are in the hundreds. So it's the only thing I can think of, Griff, if they hate President Trump more than they love their community. They hate President Trump more than they want, safe communities. And there's just no other excuse why this is not, why this has become a partisan issue to take public safety threats off the street.
Yes, you're right, man. They hate Trump more than they love safe communities, for sure. They hate ICE more than they hate human trafficking. That's what we're really up against right now. And Trump, he dropped the numbers the media refuses to report on, just like they refuse to report on anything else.
Something that you should have that you haven't reported. As you know, 300,000 children are missing, right? 300,000 under Biden. We've already gotten back 10,000 of those children, and we have a lot more planned to come back. We're getting them back by the thousands, but 300,000, and as of this morning, over 10,000 we've gotten back. Something that you should have.
Now, team think. Let me repeat that for y'all. 300,000 missing children. 300,000 children missing. But the news headline is tear gas. Give me a break, man. This isn't compassion. This is corruption hiding behind emotion. And what happens when the law finalist steps in? Protesters getting arrested in the streets, riding, all that. Look, good that they get arrested, because if you're willing to defend slave labor just to take shots at Trump ICE, you deserve to be in cuffs. ICE didn't start the chaos. They're trying to put an end to it. And for every child they save, every scream from the left proves that they're doing it right. Now, here in the kingdom, we don't side with the mobs, y'all. We side with common sense and truth. We don't defend evil just because it votes blue. And we don't apologize for telling that truth, no matter who we offend. Team think, let them cry, let them rage. Let them do what they do. We need to care about the side that's actually saving lives. Y'all be safe. Go check on somebody today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Peace.